All right, I think we're set. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you can see the screen. If not, there will be a recording available. But basically, this is 3 secrets to building a predictable growth model. Thank you for joining. The idea is I've worked with quite a few companies, worked on quite a few positioning projects in 2025. And you know how you're always sort of looking to add value, to add more value, to add more value to the projects that you're working on, but also like to improving yourself, your offer, your work. So my projects kind of naturally evolved from pure positioning projects and like what makes us unique and how to stand out, to predicting growth in companies, simply because I think that there is a big pain point here, and we'll get into that. But basically, right now, I'm at over sort of 30 projects one-on-one, and more than 400. I have worked with more than 400 teams through workshops, just like this one, and also like almost, I think like 500. We're I think close to 500 people now that downloaded my positioning framework from Miraverse. It's available for free. So if you want to just use my framework, you can do that. Just simply find my positioning. I think it's called like Startup Positioning Framework on Miraverse, and you can use it for free. You can use it interactively on Mira.com. So today is the result of all of that, all of my knowledge that I've acquired not just this year, but basically in the past as well through all of these projects. And this is basically what we'll be talking about, right? So we'll be talking about the beliefs that are preventing us from scaling, because I found, or like maybe the biggest sort of learning that I had in the past few years is that most business problems are actually like, in order to scale, in order to grow, you have to actually grow as an entrepreneur. You have to grow as a person. So you have to work on your limiting beliefs, on beliefs that are limiting how like your mentality and how you think about growth and how you think about business. And so this is something that we'll be discussing. Obviously, the core of this event is are the 3 secrets to building a predictable growth model. So basically how I thought I'd do this is I'll go through 3 stories. The first one is the 8 million in lost revenue. The second one, how we went from 0 to 37% conversion rate. The third one, how we added 64% in additional revenue in under 6 months. But basically, these are 3 stories, 3 almost like case studies or like mini case studies that happened all in the past 2 years, and in different industries as well. So no fluff, all real world cases or all real world scenarios that actually happened. And yeah, with that, let's get into it. Let's start with this. I've wanted to do this event because I found that there is a huge pain associated at every company that I've worked with. So every company that does at least 3 million in revenue, I found that there is a pain point that you basically can't, like the product can't predict which features will do well. The product can't predict even like which products will do well. Marketing can't predict which campaigns will work and which ones won't. Growth can't explain why some quarters, just crush it, others don't. And because of all of that, management can't make smart decisions. Management basically can't decide where to go next. It's difficult for the management team to say this is going to be our next step and this is how we'll grow if if even product doesn't know what kind of products and features work, if marketing doesn't know which channels work, if growth doesn't know why some things work and others don't. And when you have that, when that happens, you start relying, or the management has to rely on gut feel. But the problem is that you can't run a successful business by gut feel. Now, I've learned that the hard way because one of the founders that I'd worked with like he was running his business based solely on how he felt about stuff, how he felt about customers, how he felt about the product, how he felt, like where he felt we should go, and so on. And obviously the problem with that was that it, like in the long run, it didn't work, because actually running a business based on gut feel is risky. And I think that taking risks in entrepreneurship is stupid. Actually, like this should be taking uncalculated risks is stupid, but I just felt that taking risks is more punchy. Or taking a risk is stupid is punchier. But actually, like you'll all obviously have to take some kind of a risk. When you'll have to take some kind of risk if you want to grow, but the idea is you have to take calculated risks, because taking uncalculated risks is stupid. And I didn't want to appear stupid. And because I didn't want to appear stupid, I wanted to come up with call it a framework, call it how I work, like my approach to work, that would basically help me predict how things will grow before we even launch them. And that approach actually brought these three results. So I created a growth model for a $10 million company that's scaling to 30 million. So they have a roadmap on how to scale from 10 to 30 million. They know what to do to go from 10 to 30 million. In the second project, I delivered I led a marketing team that delivered 10 enterprise leads, including Accenture, ERM, and 7 regional banks, to a B2B enterprise company. In the third case, we nearly doubled the amount of quotes that the company was sending out every week, adding 64% in additional revenue for the owner. And these are the three stories that we're going to see. But basically, when I analyzed why some of these things worked, like why some of these results happened, I came to the truth. And the truth is that when we unlocked the why customers buy component of our product, and we mapped that to the solutions that we were offering to the products, we managed to almost predict which products or which features will do well, how to promote these features or products, and how much to price them. And this is my goal with this event for you as well. I want to help you get to that certainty in your business. I want to help you get to that clarity on what you need to do next to grow your business. So, without further ado, let's start with the first secret. So the first secret, the first story, I was working with a team on their positioning, and we happened to run a post-purchase survey because we wanted to find some data on why customers bought the product that we were selling. And now, what was interesting was that along with the data that we were looking for, we also found that there is an additional client segment that we didn't market to. And this segment was actually huge. It was almost 20% of all the sales that we did. And they had the highest order value as well. On average, they spent more money. On the products than other segments as well. So I dug a bit deeper, and when I confronted the executives about it, they basically said that they've had that segment on the table a few times. They wanted to market, some of the people in the team were loud about, we want to market to this segment because it could be a really good business opportunity, but others, they didn't believe that, they believed that either the segment wasn't on brand, or they probably wouldn't be a huge deal, or they wouldn't unlock a ton of revenue. So basically at the end, they came to a sort of a standstill, and because they had no way of knowing how much money they would make off of that segment, they decided not to market to them. Now, when then analyzing the data, we found that the segment would probably nearly double the revenue, maybe not immediately, but based on the calculations, in the next 2 to 3 years, the segment would probably add between 5 and million US dollar in revenue to the company. The company was doing 10, so that would, at the high end, it would basically almost double the revenue. Now, this happens when we tend, and this is like the first false belief that we often have, is we try to base our clients' decisions based on how we think and act. Basically, we project our decisions and how we think to the client, like to the clients. But the clients are their own people. They decide for themselves what they want to do, and they don't think and act like we do. And so basically, obviously, like when we do this, this is a very biased approach, and it's you're basing your decisions on gut feeling. But the gut feeling, like your gut, is not a growth strategy. And I guarantee you, and this is the first secret on like how high growth companies actually predict their growth. The first secret to this is that a coffee with 3 to 5 clients monthly will actually make you more money than the biggest launch campaign you ever did. And feel free to share that across your social media if you agree with it. I didn't put any branding or anything on this, so it's shareable and it's making you look smart. But basically, this is the first of the secrets, is that you have to just stay in touch with your customers, because relying on your gut decisions and projecting your thinking and your beliefs and how you think clients will act is actually what's stopping you from growth. So with this company, we now had we had a way of testing. We had a way of knowing whether something will work, because we set up the systems to do so. And so we analyzed the next product that they had in the pipeline. And on the paper, the product was really good. The product was showed that potentially it could make 10 million in revenue over the next 2 to 3 years. But then when we started actually analyzing, we found that the issue was that the client, so this product would be an upsell. So we would sell this to the same clients that we already had. And when we analyzed that, so for example, one thing that we did was we sent 5,000 emails to a very specific niche within those clients, and only 22 of them reacted to the email with a clear call to action. Hey, if you're interested in this, click this button. So basically, we proved that the existing clientele didn't care about the new product that looked really good on the paper. And that's why the company basically changed the priority to a new product that will now actually, that we then validated and will actually double the revenue. But the point here is that you really need to understand your customers. You need to spend time with them, and you need to understand why they buy, so that you can predict what will work and what won't. So that's secret number 1, understand your customers. Now, on to the secret number 2, on to the second story. I was a fractional CMO for 19 months with a B2B company that was selling to enterprise. So our clients were actually some of the biggest banks and some of the biggest consulting companies in the market, so UBS, Swiss Re Insurance, and so on. But they were opening the product-led growth approach. So basically, because the whole sort of enterprise sales thingy collapsed in 2023, they wanted to go product-led growth. So they wanted to design a funnel that would lead the customers to the product without a sales team talking to them. Now, they had a technically good product that people didn't really use, and they had a technically correct funnel that didn't really convert anyone. Now, the company, the big challenge here was that the company wanted to raise internally so that they could later raise the Series A, so 15 million Series A, but they couldn't because of lack of traction. So basically, because of lack of traction, the internal investors, the existing investors, didn't want to put in another million or so into the company, and that obviously then prevented the company from going for the Series A. Now, the no traction part happened because sales and marketing were kind of all over the place. So they basically didn't know how to say no, or like the management team often, like whenever we came and wanted to niche down, the management team came in and said, but let's not forget about this segment, because what if this segment is really good and converts and so on? But that's actually a false belief. When I joined the team and analyzed their sales funnel, I found 254 options on how to start a sales conversation. Basically, they had, I believe, 12 client segments. Every segment had different needs. Every client got different benefits from the software. So basically, I could come up with 250 options on how to start selling this software. But the problem is that those kind of it's too many options, so you don't know which ones to prioritize. So here is the secret number 2. Niching down gives your marketing, your sales team the best opportunity to actually sell something. Now with this team, the biggest problem was that the funnel actually converted at 0%. So it was like no one got through the funnel. So we created a small team. It was the UX designer, the product owner, and me. We audited the funnel. We worked together for 3 months, basically tackling challenge by challenge. So we analyzed where people were dropping off. But the key was that we focused on one audience and one audience only, and we tailored the whole funnel for that niche. Talking about things that finance people cared about, raised the conversion rate from 0 to 37%, and we delivered the company, through that funnel came Accenture, ERM.com, and Bridgestone. So 3 huge companies, also 7 regional banks. So we got 10, 11 high quality clients through that funnel by simply focusing on finance, on the finance niche. And at the end of it, a month after this, basically the client raised internally, and they secured the next stage of investment. So secret number 2, build for one niche, build just for one, others will still follow. So by niching down, there is a lot of misinformation floating around about niching down. But basically, if you focus on a certain niche, it doesn't mean that other people won't follow that niche. It won't mean that you won't sell to other people. It's just that others follow that niche, but that specificity actually helps you sell. All right, we're on to the third and final secret. The third client is a company, a shed builder, so another completely different industry, because positioning is pretty much an industry independent, service. This is a shed builder, and a client from North Carolina wanted. He was a bit, old school. He wanted to basically be everywhere. He was running Facebook ads. He was running Google ads, email, he was cold emailing companies. He was sponsoring local events and so on and so on. But more than that, he was also telling clients everything in all of those channels. So every advantage that you got when working with him, every benefit, every product that he had, and so on and so on. And now that helped him scale during the off season and sort of early season, but then during the high season, he was burning out and losing money. And so that comes because we believe that offering people more, offering clients more, actually increases our chances of a sale, which is not true. Because offering clients more, more information, more features, more products, just confuses prospects who are ready to buy, right? You need to be specific, because the sale is led by specificity. If you can choose the specific information that the client or that the prospect needs at any given time in the buyer journey, that's how you get to the sale. And then obviously that buyer journey is more complex, the more complex your product is, and the bigger the sale price. But generally, if you can be specific and give the prospect specific information that they need at each step of the journey, that's how you make the sale happen. So with this client, we removed about 80% of the things that the client did. We removed sponsored events because they were mainly just charity for the local companies. We removed Facebook ads because nobody converted from Facebook ads. We removed the mini groups that he had, like WhatsApp. He was joining weekly like group sessions on a couple of occasions, and etc., etc. Basically, we removed all of that. We optimized his positioning and nailed what they were really good at, and we focused only Google Ads copy only on what clients wanted to see. So basically, we understood what the clients wanted from his service, and we focused Google Ads to tell them that. The client went from sending 24.5 quotes per month to 244.85 and doing basically 64% more in net revenue in less than 6 months. And this is why, because, and this is secret number 3, you need to focus on what drives growth. Everything else is basically an obstacle, distraction, it's noise. Very few things that you do in growth will actually matter. So you need to be focused on what actually matters. Now, obviously, that means that you have to know what matters. So here's the summary of the 3 secrets. 1, you need to understand your customers. 2, you need to build for 1, others will follow. And 3, you need to focus on what drives growth, leave the rest to the others, your competition, right? When you manage to get these things together, you basically unlock predictable growth. You know which products or features to build. You know how these products or features look like. You know how to price them. You understand what you're selling and how you're selling it, also like where you're selling it. One interesting thing that happens is this helps align the team to basically work closer together or like work together better because and you need little to no oversight in doing so. You also, obviously, you crush the board or investor expectations, you crush your results compared to your competitors, so you outpace market growth, and that makes you appear the smartest person in the industry. Now, this is how you unlock all of that. This is my offer, the positioning roadmap. It helps you understand who your clients are. It helps you understand what makes your clients tick. It helps you understand your niche. Helps you understand what makes your product special, not what you think makes it special, but what makes it special in your client's eyes. It helps you understand how a company built around that looks like, so you know exactly what to build next and like how your company will look like at the next stages of growth. And finally, you understand what actually drives your growth, so you know that you can focus on this but skip something else. And all of this, you're getting this for a grand total for the price of $0. Because here is how it works. You get the audit, I do the audit, and you get a roadmap similar to the one on the screen for free. So basically the whole plan, every step that you need to do, you get it for free and you only pay for the execution. So if you want me to lead the execution, you pay for my services. But the audit and the actual plan on how to grow to whatever your business goal is, that's all of that is for free. And this is Dan from Cape Fear Shed. This is the company that I was working with in North Carolina, who basically gave me the biggest testimonial that I can get. He said, I now understand my business. And he told me that while on Zoom call after the 2-week vacation he took for the first time in 5 years. So these are basically the results that I strive for. So if you're interested, go to wefixboarding.com, and or scan the QR code, and it will take you to the website. There is a catch, so you actually have to apply, because I only work with companies that make at least $1 million a year, because I need data to help you out. If I don't have the data, I can't provide enough value, so I can't really help you out. So there is going to be a questionnaire, a survey on the website. Go through that if you're interested, and I will get back to you in an email if you're accepted. If I accept to work with you. I only have the space for one more client. I already have one for the foreseeable future. I only have space for one more client, and this actually goes out to my whole email list, both on LinkedIn and on via my email list. In total, there are 750 people. So I'm 99% certain that after Friday, this is not going to be available anymore, because I will very probably be buried in people who want to do this. But I am giving you, those of you who are live now, I am giving you the option to. I'm going to give you basically a head start of 2 days. So if you want to apply, go to wefixboring.com and fill out the questionnaire. That's it for now, and we will now start with the questions. So